Hello everyone, I am Ian, also known as Trackside Maniac.
And I am TrevorKraft.
And welcome back to Track Pack. Yes, I finally figured out a name for this bloody podcast. I will get to talking about how I figured out a name for this thing, but we'll get to that later. So, yeah, Trevor, how are you doing?
Great. There's a huge, strong wind happening outside my house, causing the power to go out. And I think it's going to be a few days, but there's a generator outside that is connected to the house. Hopefully that goes well.
Right, so let's talk about the podcast name. So, in the past two episodes, which episode 1 should already be out by Friday on the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 2 is still being edited, and we're currently recording this one. So, episode 1 was recorded back in December, and we didn't exactly have a name for the podcast at that time. Come January, during the last few hours of my shift from Sunday, randomly the name Track Pack popped into my head, because I was thinking, I think I was probably thinking about, Trackmaster, and, how they have, expansion packs. So, I put the, Track Pack together, and I thought, hey, we could use that for a podcast title. And yeah, that's how we came up with, and that's how I came up with Track Pack for the podcast.
Exactly. And now that you mention Trackmaster, my mind has still been going through the anniversary merch for Thomas.
Oh yeah, Wild
nonstop.
Talked about that during the first episode, I'm pretty sure. Saying I don't think this is gonna be for the anniversary, and I'm like, well, we don't exactly know. I didn't say anything about it, but I'm thinking, well, we don't exactly know what this new motorized Thomas is gonna be for, so it's solely up to speculation.
Yeah, true.
And can I just say,
you never know.
I'm quite terrified on what the rest of the Steam Team characters are gonna look like in this style. Particularly Gordon and James, because if they're gonna go full on accurate scale with these new motorized Trackmaster stuff, Gordon's gonna be the size of a shoe. Gordon's legitimately gonna be the size of a Nike shoe. Same could be said with Henry if they ever make Henry.
I'm gonna be real. I don't think they're gonna go that far. If they were, then that would be a nightmare. Imagine the sets.
Oh boy. And also, I'm pretty sure someone on Twitter also talked about how similar these new Trackmasters are compared to the very early Tomy stuff. Before regular Tomy, there were a couple of Tomy sets that had a darker blue track to them, and the engines could there's a special track switch that makes the engine when the engines go over it, it puts them in reverse. There's a metal pole underneath the engine, and if you flip it, the engine goes in a different direction.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I think that's the end of small talk. Let's talk about the meat of this episode. Live action adaptations. We're gonna be talking about good examples, bad examples, and examples that shouldn't really have existed.
Yeah.
So
there's a bunch.
I think a great one to start off with is the Barbie movie.
I'm gonna be real, I have not seen that movie yet, so I don't know what it's about, really.
Neither have I.
I know it's about Barbie.
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie either, but I find it really funny that they portray Will Ferrell as the main executive, or the main guy that runs Mattel headquarters. And it's not the first time they've put Will Ferrell into a business position in a movie. Look at the Lego movies, for Christ's sake.
I completely forgot about the Lego movies.
Yeah. Going on a bit of a side tangent, the Lego Batman movie and the first Lego movie were pretty good. The Lego Ninjago movie, I have not seen at all. I have never watched it.
I've seen it. It's all right. Like, I don't watch Ninjago, but the movie was good.
I used to watch Ninjago as a kid. The CGI definitely does. I don't think has improved. Like when it was first coming out, the CGI was bad. It looked real rancid, as far as I remember, anyway. But getting back to live action
I'm
adaptations,
pretty sure it was new during the time.
Yeah, I'm specifically talking about the TV series, not the movie. But getting back to the point.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But anyways,
getting back to live action adaptations. The Barbie movie, that I feel like that was a pretty great portrayal of like what Mattel can do with like making the properties into theatrical films.
like making like straight up making a single toy into like an entire movie. Like, how does anyone be able to do that?
It takes a great team of writers to come up with an interesting plot that audiences are gonna like. And also, speaking of like turning a toy into a theatrical movie, that's a great segue into the Adventures of Thomas. And we briefly talked about it during episode 1, but for those who are not in the know, apparently this movie was gonna be a repeat of Magic Railroad, and let's just say
But live action.
Yeah, but like let's just say the portrayal of the Diesels was a bit over the top, I will say.
I thought you were gonna say shit.
No. It's like I'm gonna keep this out of the podcast, but like they portrayed the Diesels as
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this movie was not gonna be good.
No wonder they canceled it.
Yeah, and something about the faces of the engines being like cybernetic or something. Like they weren't the traditional gray faces.
Yeah,
No, it was like completely different. But since we don't exactly know what that would have looked like, I've seen a lot of fan art on Twitter portraying like the famous render of Thomas's live action model underneath like a canopy station, right? I've seen people take that image and like twist and bend it to look like think of Robots, the movie with Robin Williams in it. Like think of that movie, but with Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I really like that concept. But yeah, this movie, I don't know about it. And also, I'm pretty sure like somewhere in there it said like something about Emily was also in the movie, which like, I mean the movie, like Emily's been around since like season 7, so I guess that would make sense to include her in the movie. But yeah, the movie was not going to look good.
Yeah, and they probably weren't sure if they were making it canon or not because you know how Magic Railroad went.
Can we quickly talk about? I don't know if Magic Railroad counts as live action because with like the model props and whatnot, but Magic Railroad, I feel like
it does.
Yeah, Magic Railroad, despite it being a little crazy with like the magic elements, it still felt like Thomas. Whereas the Adventures of Thomas, fuck no, they threw that concept completely out the window.
Yeah, but I think Magic Railroad had a better concept because mixing live action with model trains was cool and all. I wish it was done better though.
Well, what do you mean?
Like, let's say, instead of having, like, imagine the adventure begins, but in the model era as like a retelling.
Yeah.
But instead of the people as figures, they were actual actors.
I know you're pulling this from Unlucky Tug's video, but I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know.
I wasn't really pulling the idea from Tug.
The concept sounds interesting, but I don't know about the fucking execution. Let's segue to a different.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right, let's segue to a different live action movie. How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Sonic?
We're gonna get to Sonic in a second.
Okay.
But I want to talk about How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Honestly, the live action adaptation far better than Illumination's version. If I'm being honest. It's
Yeah,
also
even though even though it takes a little while to get to the actual part that was in the books
yeah,
or
but
in the
bro,
book,
yeah.
just like
Why'd you say books like there were like more than one? I know there's a sequel book, but like, what do you
I
mean?
don't know. I think there's a second. I think there's a second. I think there's a second. I think there's a second book about the Grinch. I don't know.
Yeah, there is definitely a sequel book. Also, I don't remember, but like, I think there was like at least like one sexualized joke in this movie for some reason.
Yeah, there was.
I could be wrong on this, but like something about like the mayor's wife of Whoville.
Yeah, where the Grinch flew and landed his
Into
face into.
into her big Volcanica hooves.
I can't say it, but there was also this like joke where the dog's ass gets kicked
Kicked.
for some reason. I said kissed. Kissed.
Kissed. Oh
Yeah, remember that part of the movie?
no. I do remember that the dog bites the Grinch in the ass, but I don't remember the dog's ass being kissed. When the hell did that happen?
You want to rewatch the movie after this?
Probably not tonight, but we can definitely schedule a movie night on a different day when you're not on, schoolwork and whatnot. But
Anyway,
yeah. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's a great live action adaptation. Jim Carrey, it's just
even though some people say it's not great, but I think it's good.
yeah. I hate the thing I will hate about this movie is the baby Grinch. That thing can die in the pits of hell for all I care.
How can it die in the pits of hell if he's already grown up?
I was gonna look. The concept of a baby Grinch can go die for all I care.
They had to explain his backstory somehow, even though he clearly didn't have one.
Yeah.
I did hear that Jim Carrey said that he would be interested to be in a sequel, but with motion capture.
Oh yeah, he did talk about that. What
Which
like
is understandable
like
because the amount of makeup.
Like, are we talking like Polar Express motion capture quality or something a bit more of a high budget?
I think Polar Express. I think Polar Express type of motion capturing. Which, by the way, I did not know that was motion capture when I saw Polar Express.
It was a clear indication that it was motion capture when I first watched it.
I thought it was really well done animation by how the movement was real. So, my bad.
And keeping with the topic of Jim Carrey, let's also talk about the Sonic movies.
Yeah.
When the trailer for the first one came out in 2019, everyone was just like losing their minds over how disproportionate Sonic looked.
When they showed when they revealed Ugly Sonic to the public.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, did you know there's an Ugly Sonic Christmas sweater based off the Ugly Sonic?
Yes, I did see that. And also, I don't know how Disney got the rights for Ugly Sonic, but they put him into like fucking what the hell was the name of the movie? Rescue Rangers?
Rescue Rangers?
Yeah, the Rescue Rangers movie. I don't know how Disney managed to get the rights to use like the non-Disney characters in that movie, but like, good God.
Well, they did have Sonic and Wreck-It Ralph, so
fair point. You know, this is gonna sound stupid, but when I first watched the Rescue Rangers movie, I was half expecting to see a Thomas reference, but they have they had a goddamn
Really?
My Little Pony reference in it.
How the fuck did they get My Little Pony in there?
I have no idea, but I'm glad it was like a Generation 4, which is the Friendship is Magic era. Because honestly, I feel like that one was the best era out of MLP. And this is coming from someone who used to watch MLP in the past, just out of pure boredom. Look, I won't deny it. I won't deny it. I like MLP, all right? But only Generation 4. Gen 5, I don't want to touch that. But circling back to Sonic, I'm I I just have so many problems with ugly Sonic. Like, why do they make him muscular? I
Yeah,
don't
like
understand.
why the fuck is he so buff?
Yeah.
And why does he not wear gloves? Why are his eyes small?
And why does he have like claws on his hands? That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Why Nikes as the shoes?
I'm just remembering. I talked earlier. I just
Like
talked about Gordon
they at
being
least
this. I just realized. I remember talking about Gordon being the size of a Nike. It came full circle, everyone. It came full circle.
but also they managed to put socks on him, but why not gloves?
That's a great point. Thank God they fixed the design. Like the director said, "Yep, we hear you. We're gonna change the design now."
After a long amount of like fan made redesigns, they actually listened. Like they heard back and they're like, yeah, we're sorry. We'll redesign Sonic.
Yeah, they got. I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly. They got Tyson Hess to work on redesigning Sonic, who has worked on Sonic projects in the past, and I think the final product of Sonic's redesign was pretty damn great. But talking about
for real.
yeah, but like talking about plot wise, it's not great by my standards, but
It's a start.
yeah, you gotta start somewhere.
Exactly. What I was originally like still criticizing about the redesign is that his arms were blue, but I eventually got used to it.
Yeah, this isn't the first time Sonic's had blue arms. Like, look at Sonic Boom, for example.
We don't talk about that.
No, we don't talk about the games, but we talk about the show. The show was funny in some places.
The show was good. The show was good.
Yeah. I think it's like started running out of steam during seasons 3 and 4. I want to say.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
no.
there's only 2 seasons of it.
No. There's definitely 4 seasons. I would know because I've watched most of all the series on Hulu at one point or another.
I was only able to find season 1 and 2, so
Right. But Sonic Movie 2, I think that's where they started to finally find their footing with these movies. Cause this is the first like we got Tails and Knuckles in this one. And also Bald Eggman, finally.
in the second one.
Yes.
That was Sonic 2.
Yes, Sonic Movie 2. We got Knuckles and Tails and Bald Robotnik. Because like in the first movie,
the Eggman that we were expecting.
Robotnik had like hair, and he had like a smaller mustache.
Yeah, and he didn't have that long stash yet.
Yeah. Second movie fixed that problem. I think this also like in the past, Knuckles has been portrayed as an idiot. Like at first he was a badass. But then over time, he slowly started to being reduced to a dumbass. This movie fixed that issue, and Knuckles is pretty
they gave him the ability to think again.
Yeah, like I don't mind stupid Knuckles in Sonic Boom. That's fine. I can enjoy that a little bit. But
the writers of Sonic Boom hated Knuckles.
Really? They did?
That's like the way they portrayed Knuckles as a fucking idiot is so stupid.
Yeah, I can get behind dumb Knuckles as it like Sonic Boom is a spinoff anyway, so I can get behind that. But Knuckles in Sonic 2, oh boy, this dude don't fuck around. This dude does not fuck around.
Not sure if we are allowed to bring up to include the Knuckles show or not, because
I mean, technically it is part of the movie, so why not? Why not? They can talk about it.
Yeah, the entire series is literally based off the after events of Sonic 2.
So the events of Knuckles take place in between Sonic 2 and Sonic 3. And I've seen the criticism on Twitter where people say like it's not really a Knuckles
Not enough
series.
Knuckles.
Yeah, like Knuckles himself is barely in this series, and they portrayed Wade as like the main character.
Yeah, like Knuckles is just there, like Sonic and Tails.
Yeah. Something interesting I want to point out. Someone else on Twitter is like, the Flames of Disaster meme, right?
Yeah, that meme. Why the fuck is that a meme?
Apparently, the Flames of Disaster was a Sonic 06 thing. That came from Sonic 06. I did not know that.
I fucking hate that game.
I didn't know that, but that's a cool. I guess that's the cool detail, I guess.
Yeah, but Sonic 06 sucks.
It did give us silver, so that's something. I also think Idris Elba, the voice of Knuckles for the movies, said that he wants to do like a spin-off with Knuckles and Shadow. So that might be interesting.
Shadow and Knuckles?
Yeah.
Just the series is just named Shadow the Hedgehog. And Knuckles.
Speaking of Shadow, that's a great segue into
Which
Sonic
is funny
3.
that's
a great segue into Sonic 3.
Yeah, Sonic 3. Usually I would be real here. I would include the Knuckles series and Sonic 3 movie together because it's like the Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles combination back in the old days.
Yeah, Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Where it just turns into Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
I think when Knuckles and Sonic 3 were announced, people were like, hang on a second. That's another reference to the games. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles.
And they even did the meme. The official Sonic movie account even did the meme. But they just used the shitty low quality logo from the game.
But like, let's actually.
Which was kind of funny, but it would have been more funny. But I think it would have been, which I think is more funny. But I kind of preferred if they did it with the actual series logo.
Yeah. So talking about Sonic 3, this is the best one, I think, cause it's literally just a retelling of Sonic Adventure 2. Not to an exact T, but like, there's some elements in there.
At least people didn't cheer over Maria dying.
No, but they definitely cheered over the post-credit scene, which I'm not sure how much of my audience has actually already seen the movie yet, so we're probably gonna stray away from spoilers.
Oh yeah, yeah. I might talk about the post-credit scene. Spoilers, by the way. So, Metal Sonic,
bro,
and Amy.
So, when I was going to see the movie day one with my siblings, I had already unfortunately known about Amy's appearance in the movie. What I didn't know was that Metal Sonic appeared at the end credits. Bro, when he first like popped up on screen, I was like, what the fuck? I didn't actually say that out loud, but I thunk it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, like the moment I saw Metal Sonic, I was like, okay, I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting that, but I wasn't expecting to expect nothing, so it doesn't count. Quoting that from the second movie, not the second, the first movie. Goddamn.
Yeah, you're quoting Sonic 1. I like how we're calling the movies by how we call the games.
Yeah. I guess since we're also talking about video game adaptations, we will segue into something that will be happening at the end of this year. But sticking to Sonic real quick for now. Again, when Metal first appeared on screen, I lost my mind. Like, are they like? There's no way they're gonna set up a Sonic CD movie, right? Because the two characters that appeared in the post-credits
are they gonna? Is the plot gonna be the first two new characters they bring in the post credits is Metal Sonic and Amy? So
two
perhaps
key characters
it's
that
hinting
appeared.
that Sonic 4.
Yeah, like two key characters that appeared in Sonic CD. So if this is setting up for what the plot is gonna be for Sonic 4. I'm hyped.
Yeah, Sonic 4 is definitely going to be based off Sonic CD in a way.
And I really hope they pull like some references from the Sonic movie OVA, like the line.
Oh, that would be such a cool callback.
You know what quote I'm talking about. You know everything I'm gonna do, but that's not gonna help you.
You might know everything that I'm gonna do, but that's not going to help you because I know everything you're gonna do. Strange, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that would be so awesome to see. That would be so awesome. Right. What other movie? Like this, I know that this was meant to be like live action adaptation specifically, but we're now delving into video game adaptations. So let me think. Okay, hang on a minute. I gotta Google.
Oh yeah. By the way, Shadow with the gun was insane.
Yeah, they pulled a couple of references from Shadow the Hedgehog. Like the
yeah, I
like
just
the
realized
scene.
that Sonic 3 was referencing Sonic. Like Sonic 3 was focused on Sonic Adventure 2, but also a little bit of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Right. Let's see.
Like imagine hearing all of me while Sonic is chasing Shadow.
Yeah, I think there's also like a City Escape reference at one point in the movie. So like, spoiler warning again. There's a scene where Sonic and the others are in London and trying to break into gun headquarters. And when like Sonic's like taking in all the sights, there's like a bit of piece of music that sounds very similar to City Escape from one of the Sonic Adventure games. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2.
But I love the Beatles reference that they fucking did.
Yeah, Sonic. Like I feel a little bit of. I'm a little upset that they like completely discarded Ringo.
What do you mean?
Like the scene where where Sonic passes through Abbey Road. He says, "Paul, John, George, the other one," completely disregarding Ringo.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Sonic! I am disappointed that Sonic did not acknowledge Ringo.
There's also when they're like the first entering Tokyo.
I bet a bunch of Thomas fans felt very upset.
Yeah, and they did. I saw a whole bunch of like discourse on Twitter about it. But there's also a scene where they're flying in a gun helicopter, and they directly pull another quote from Sonic Adventure 2. Talk about low budget flights. No drinks or movies or whatever, or no food or movies. We're out of here. Or however the line goes. I don't remember it. Now segue. I was gonna talk about Detective Pikachu, but then I remembered. Oh yeah, Borderlands exists. I don't think people liked the Borderlands movie. I think people were like really didn't like Jack Black being Claptrap. Personally, I like it, honestly.
Yeah.
And I have not seen the movie yet.
I haven't seen it.
So Jack Black, Kevin Hart, and I think is it Jamie Lee Curtis? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is in this movie. It's a bit of a weird cast, if I'm being honest. Pretty weird. Uncharted is also a pretty interesting movie, I will say. Originally, I didn't even know this movie was based on a video game.
Oh yeah, back to video game movies real quick. We're all gonna agree that we are just pretending that the live action Mario movie did not happen.
Oh God, don't! Oh, why did you have to make me remember that? Well, now we have to now we have to talk about it. Thanks, Trevor. God damn it! All right.
Well, hey, excuse me.
It's
seriously,
only natural that we get some sort of.
What
Mario
were they
topic
thinking?
Listen, you can shit on me all you want, but I think Bob Hoskins' Mario is peak casting. That is like perfect casting, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, true. It's got he sounds. Yeah, he does sound.
I don't know why, but he's got the
sound like he has the.
It's like Hotel Mario.
Like that. Hey, how you doing? I'm under your sink. Don't bother me.
He's got like that Hotel Mario voice, if you know what I mean.
Nah, it's like the like Italian plumber Brooklyn accent, like the example I just gave.
But back to Uncharted. I didn't even realize this was meant to be a video game adaptation when I first watched it. But I don't know. Tom Holland and his dynamic with Mark Wahlberg. It's really fun, I will say. It's such a fun dynamic. I love it. But there's not really a whole lot to say about it, if I'm being honest. I did say I was going to talk about Detective Pikachu. This movie, on one hand, I want there to be a sequel, but on the other hand, it kind of just works as its own standalone movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like how they made a second game to Detective Pikachu.
They did make a second game. Oh my god, I remember that. Is the second game even that
And
good?
it looks exactly like the first one. I have not played it, so like Pokemon fans don't hate on me, but I don't really care for the games. But Detective Pikachu, the movie was good.
All right.
The way how they got the designs of the Pokemon were spot on.
I think
It's like they were
couple-
straight up from the game.
There's a couple designs in there that I don't think exactly work in live action. I can't exactly name any off the top of my head because there's like so many Pokemon at this point.
Yeah, and they keep making new ones.
And I think to end things off with video game adaptations specifically, Five Nights at Freddy's. Y'all know it was gonna happen. It was gonna happen eventually.
Yep. Yep. FNAF.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure everyone knows about this, but the first movie, has been in development hell for like so many years since, I want to say 2015.
And I think it came out the same year as the animated Mario movie.
Yeah, back in 2023.
But months later.
Back in 2023. Good God. Throughout all that time, we just heard nothing about this movie. And then, like, out of the blue, Jason Blum himself posted on his Twitter poster images of all 4 animatronic characters, and the internet went wild. Then we got a teaser trailer. Then we got
They went by zonker.
Yeah. I guess the first thing I do want to talk about is Matt Pat's cameo. Now I've seen people say that his cameo was a bit forced, but I don't think I really agree with that. I think he works pretty fine in this movie. He's only got like 3...
And Markiplier could have worked too.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to be there.
Yeah, because he was also working on Iron Lung, which is his movie that he's doing. If we do like a part 2 to this, we're definitely gonna include Iron Lung. But talking about Freddy's, the first movie, it was definitely made for the fans, but putting my I guess you could say nostalgia critic glasses onto my face. There's not, it's a bit 50-50 plot wise, cause the animatronics, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, the Cupcake, and Foxy, they don't really appear that often in the movie. I think it takes like roughly 20 minutes to get to the part where we actually see the animatronics. And I know that's like, this is like set up Mike's character and like what he's going through.
Yeah, you gotta set up characters in a way.
I'd say like, I guess the animatronics were like a side plot. Okay, not really a side plot, but like B characters, I want to say. I mean, like, they're like side characters. Like, they're in the movie, but they're not really that integral to the plot in the first half, I want to say.
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard was great, but only in like the last half of the movie, because he also barely showed up in the movie. Like, he was in the beginning giving Mike his job at Freddy's, and then just out of nowhere, he just like shows up at like the finale of the movie and just like starts existing, I guess.
Speaking of the cameos in the movie, I also liked the Corey Kenshin cameo.
Yeah, I have not really watched a whole lot of Corey's content, if I'm being honest. I did know of him when I went into this movie. I did know who he was.
Like, did you hear that the original ending for the movie was meant to like end with him
with an F-bomb,
actually swearing?
Yeah, end with an F-bomb. Yeah, I heard about that. But circling back to what I was gonna say about the costume design, I fucking love how the animatronics look in this movie. The colors, like, it's not 1-to-1, I would say, but they just look so goddamn good. And Blue Bonnie is gonna forever haunt me. Blue Bonnie is gonna forever haunt me a little bit, because people have there's like, I don't know if this is a long going debate on like whether or not Bonnie's meant to be purple or blue, but I think
I thought it was purple.
Yeah, and I sort of like kind of making sense when like FNAF 2 the game, where we got a blue toyed Bonnie and a sort of blue looking withered Bonnie. And then Help Wanted like came about and like completely kind of proved that Bonnie was always meant to be blue with his blue color scheme. I don't want to say proved, but like kind of steered us into the direction that Bonnie was always meant to be blue.
But it felt weird.
Yeah. I think the best one out of all of the animatronics has to be Foxy. I'm a little bit torn that we didn't get to see much of like okay, so Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy have two suits. One animatronic suit, and then one that people can actually walk around. Yeah, an animatronic, fully functional animatronic, and then a costume that people can walk around in. Foxy is full-on animatronic, and it needs like a whole bunch of puppeteers to make him move. What I find so infuriating, they made clean versions of the animatronics before, in lore-wise, the pizzeria shut down, and they built a fixed Foxy animatronic, and we didn't get to see much of that, but only in like a small little teaser like a 9-minute teaser trailer for the movie, with like there's a whole bunch of the monitors in the office. On one of those monitors is a small amount of footage of the fixed Foxy prop, and I'm so upset that we didn't get to see it in the actual movie. Switching topics now to FNAF 2, I don't think I'm ready for this movie. I don't think I'm ready.
I was ready once for Freddy. I can be ready again.
There's already like a bunch of like photos online about the what the pizzeria is gonna look like for this movie, and we've also seen like leaked images of like the sign with Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, and Toy Chica. Honestly, it looks pretty damn good. I think I'm gonna try to stay offline to make sure I don't see any more images or behind the scenes images of anything. I do know that Daco is on the set the FNAF movie 2 set with Scott. So I don't know when we're gonna see. But I don't know if he's probably gonna make a behind the scenes video where he and his other friends are walking around on the set and interacting with the animatronics, like with the first movie.
Pretty much did.
I'm honestly quite
the first time. So.
I will say, I am honestly scared for what the memes are gonna look like when the first teaser trailer comes out, because you know for a damn fact that Toy Chica is gonna get all the art.
I remember hearing that someone known as Zach X literally pointed out that the floors in the theater are gonna be sticky day one because of Toy Chica.
Oh God!
So FNAF community, You guys have a problem. It's an
So-
animatronic.
Bro, her
What the
30
fuck?
her 34 page is gonna expand when this movie comes out, and I'm terrified by that thought.
Just expand dong expansion in like 8 levels.
Expand Dawn expansion pack.
Why are we making a Donkey Kong show joke?
A little bit, yes. A little bit. Now let's move away from video game adaptations and talk about different live action adaptations. So let me go to Google real quick. Let's see. Do we want to talk about any of the Disney live action films?
Fuck those movies.
All right then. How about
There. Had to say it.
let's talk about Garfield the movie. Not the Garfield movie, Garfield the movie. The live action one. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I remember seeing those movies. I used to watch those a lot because it's Garfield.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd say this
Fuck.
is a great adaptation. Cause like it's a little bit cursed. And they made 2 movies of this too. I'm now just remembering.
Thank God they did not make a third one.
We're not even gonna talk about the Cat in the Hat. We are not gonna even talk about that. I did not mean for that to rhyme.
Why is that a movie? Why did they make that? Like it's so shit.
But that's what it's like one of those cases where the movie is so bad it's good.
This one, no.
What about the Flintstones? I know
Like,
there's there's
seriously.
like a few live action adaptations of those. Granddad. Yeah, I don't remember. Like, fuck, what's the cast for the live action Flintstones? Let me have a look. Oh yeah, John Goodman played
I
Fred
have no-
Flintstone. I completely forgot about that.
Oh yeah, he did. He actually worked.
Yeah, John Goodman. I fucking love this dude because he's well known for playing what's his name in The Emperor's New Groove? Pacha, right, that's his name. And also well known for playing Sully in Monsters Inc.
I
actually
completely
see.
forgot about that.
Who else was in this movie? Let me just have a quick look here. Jay Leno? Oh God, no! Oh no! Oh no!
Really?
Yeah, Jay Leno is in this movie. Also, apparently, the guy who plays Barney Rubble, he was also in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I did not know that.
But right, let's see what other. I honestly think, that the Flintstones movie, it's pretty good from what I can remember.
I'm not sure if anybody has made any 7 granddad jokes to the Flintstones movie at all. Because if anyone did, let me know. And no, do not mention the one that we just did. That doesn't count.
I completely forgot that we have not talked about this yet. But let's also talk about Harry Potter. Like that works, honestly. The live action Harry Potter movies are so good. Like then again, it has been a hot minute since I've actually watched any of the movies. I do know that the first movie was pretty good for what I can remember. And also, this is just a trained person coming out and saying this, but like, how often have we seen the Hogwarts Express itself in any of these movies? Like, how much does like the locomotive appear in the movies? Circling back to bad live action adaptations. Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's a great one to talk about.
Oh God.
That's a hot mess all on its own. But yeah, no, Alvin and the Chipmunks. I don't even know if I want to talk about Alvin and the Chipmunks, so we're just gonna move on.
No, like I think they should like if there was some like I heard there was some casting choices that happened, but But to be real, all they did was pitch up the voices and call it a day. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And the fact there's multiple movies,
Yeah,
it just makes it worse.
They made like 4 movies, right? They made 4 of these things, right?
I think so.
Okay, now this this next one I want to bring up is, I don't think people even know of this movie's existence, but are you familiar with Alita Battle Angel?
No.
Okay, so I have a really weird history with this movie. So I think during one of my flights to Disneyland with my family, I was just like scrolling through like what movies they had on the flight, and I stumbled upon this one, and I'm just thinking, what the hell is this? So, and I don't even remember what this movie was about, but let me get the Wikipedia page open. Year 2563, 300 years after Earth was devastated in catastrophic war against the United. Okay.
Devastation.
Yeah, and the poster for this movie looks pretty damn good. But what's the cast? I need to have a look at this. Who the hell is in this movie? Who is in this movie?
Also, real quick, why did they think a live-action Minecraft movie was a good idea?
Oh fuck yeah! Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. That movie comes out in like 3 months.
Shit. I just realized that.
Listen, I know people say that this movie is bad, but because it heavily relies on CGI, but you got to remember during the behind the scenes stuff, they did indeed build a lot of like life scale props for the human actors to interact with. Yeah, like they built life scale props of like trees, like everything in Steve's house, like the crafting table, the armor, the fireworks, the TNT. Yeah. Like the life scale props. I like that, but I can definitely say I can agree that the heavy CGI has to work because it's Minecraft. How are you gonna make this live action? Just use CGI, they say.
Yeah, but I did hear that there is gonna be a huge respect to Technoblade, I think, in it.
Ooh.
Like they're gonna make a statue of him in it.
But now talking about a movie that I think had a little bit too many adult jokes in it. The original live-action Scooby-Doo. With Linda Cardellini and Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
Honestly, I completely understand. Because this was released during 2002, so yeah, I can kind of understand why they would be able to get away with some of those jokes. Because I remember there's a scene where Fred somehow, like, his soul somehow ends up in Daphne's body, and then he says, "Hey, I can look at myself naked."
I can look at myself naked.
And then he also like pulls his Daphne's shirt forward, looks down and gets excited or something. What the fuck with the writer's? I've also just realized Mr. Bean himself is in this movie. I completely forgot about that. Hang on.
Yeah, but I also love how the actor for Shaggy became like the current voice actor for him, I think.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard. Fuck, who the fuck is Mr. Bean? Like, who the fuck is he again? I'm trying to find him in here. Where the fuck? Rowan Atkinson. By
the way, Matthew did a spot-on impression of Shaggy. Like, you gotta give it that.
I think he said.
The funny thing.
I'm remembering during an interview.
What I think is so funny that it became a meme was "Are you challenging me?"
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, but I think he said during an interview on like how he does the Shaggy voice, he has to get his voice like a little screwed up to be able to like get the voice, if that makes any sense. Like he needs his vocals to be all like shot or something.
Oh, that sucks.
But hey,
I feel bad for him.
Bro, imagine like having the voice Batman and just like completely destroying your throat just to go, I'm Batman. You know?
I don't think it's that hard. All you just have to do is just speak very deep and like whisper. I think just I'm Batman.
Or try to make your voice as deep as possible to go, where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald? You know?
Yeah, Keanu didn't really need to try that type of shadow voice, but
Yeah, Keanu,
his voice for shadow
Keanu was
good
pretty
enough.
good. I think I remember during like when his like when the first trailer came out, people were like, why does Shadow sound like that? And then everyone's like, you specifically asked for Shadow to be voiced by Keanu. What do you mean you don't like this?
Hey, you got what you wanted, so shut up. But also, I kind of found it funny that the movie took place specifically in 2024, even though, because that was the date it released in.
Yeah, it would also imply.
Like, imagine if Sonic was real.
It would also imply that, like, I had to do the math. So apparently, during the flashback sequences with Maria and Shadow, that took place in 1974.
What?
Yeah, so don't remember the scene where Shadow's like, 2024? I've been trapped for 50 years? So 2020.
Oh!
Yeah, so I had.
That's the okay!
Yeah, I had to do the math. So
that never clicked in my head because I never played Sonic Adventure 2 or Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, didn't you watch didn't you see the post-credits scene for Sonic 2 where they said like we found something buried deep in the files dating over like 50 years ago. So Shadow's been trapped.
Yeah, I predicted. Like, I'm gonna be real. I predicted Tails in the first one. I predicted Shadow in the second one. I sort of predicted Amy, but not Metal.
Was it because like you were looking all at like the color shirt Maddie was wearing during all the movies? She was wearing orange in the first one, and we got Tails. She was wearing red in the second.
No.
Maddie was wearing red and black in the second one. We got Shadow. Maddie was wearing pink in the third one. We got Amy.
Yeah, that's not what I was talking about. That's not what I meant specifically. But Tails' voice actor is literally the one from the game.
Yeah, I remember like during an interview with Colleen, Roger, Mike Pollock, and the voice actor for what was her name? And I gotta actually look it up. God, what the hell was her name? Hang on. I gotta go to the wiki. Give me a second here. Sage! That's what her name was. So, the voice actress who played Sage. I think they were asked a question about the Sonic movies, and Roger's like, you're in a movie? Towards Colleen. I don't know, something along the lines of that.
Like, Roger didn't know.
Yeah. So, circling back to Shadow. So, knowing he's been, in suspended animation for 50 years... He's been trapped in that stasis pod for since 1974, which I don't even know how that's gonna connect to the games, because we have no idea what year Sonic Adventure 2 takes place in.
Yeah, and also Sonic wasn't around since until 1991, I think.
Yeah, so that's gonna throw the timeline all completely out the window.
But then again, the movies are not canon. Or are they? Because remember when the official Sonic Twitter account said everything is canon?
So you mean Shrek is canon?
No, I was talking about Sonic DXC.
Oh. So everything pertaining to the Sonic games, or anything that's Sonic related, it's all canon. Okay. Wait, would that technically mean that... Hold up a minute.
But not Sonic DXC.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a second. Would that technically mean Sonic the Steam Engine is canon?
I'm not sure if they're aware about that.
Yeah, for those who have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, go watch Mega Hedgehog X. He makes very spicy customs.
Not only the Sonic Steam Engine custom, he made a Mario Steam Engine custom.
Yeah. I'm also sure that he updated his shadow custom too, because originally I think his original shadow custom had like a white topped foot plate and a number 2 on the cab, and his updated one has black foot plate and has the logo from Shadow the Hedgehog on the cab.
Yeah, that works.
I'm pretty sure the 2 was in reference to Sonic Adventure 2. All right, I think.
Wait, weren't we supposed to wrap up soon?
Yeah, I think this is a great part to wrap up the episode. So, whenever we make a part 2 to this, we are definitely gonna be talking about Minecraft movie. Unless maybe we wanna make that a separate video.
I don't want to talk about it, really. You can get someone else to talk about it.
All right. Well, anyways, with that being said, thank you all for listening.
But anyway, if you guys did enjoy this episode, leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications to him, and subscribe to me as well.
Yep, you know how to find.
Leave a comment
Trevor.
if you're interested in more.
Yeah, y'all know how to find Trevor's socials. I've been Trackside Maniac, he's been TrevorKraft, and we are going to end the episode here. Podcast out.
Peace out, everyone.